Forgive me. So, hello again. I wanted to discuss one more notion for this week, and you have it in the PowerPoints. Please pay attention to it. It is the idea of the banality of evil, which has been developed by Hannah Arendt. This is the book. I mean, in this book, she talks about it, I think, for the first time. This book is called Eichmann in Jerusalem, a report on the banality of evil. And Eichmann was one of the masterminds for the final solution. The final solution is the last stage in which Hitler and his acolytes wanted to destroy the Jewish population. And Eichmann, who was a Nazi officer, was caught after World War II and tried in Jerusalem. He was the first Nazi officer who was tried in Jerusalem. And Hannah Arendt, who is a philosopher slash writer who lived in Germany, and then she moved to the United States. She went from the U.S. to Israel, to Jerusalem, to write about the trial. And what she write? I'm not gonna give you the details. I encourage you strongly to read the book if you have the time to do so. And but what I like to say a few words about is this idea of the banality of evil. So how do we think of evil? In usually, we try to differentiate between the good and the bad. If you watch an action movie and you haven't seen the movie from the beginning, you go into the movie and you ask whoever is watching, who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. Because we always differentiate between the good side and the bad side, and often, especially in movies and especially in other books and including in our imagination, evil is ugly. Evil is is Darth Vader, or evil is Saruman, and so on, or the orcs in Lord of the Rings. I'm hoping you know what I'm making references to. The point is that in our imagination, we think that we can see evil on the face of it. But what do you do when you acknowledge the fact that evil, such tremendous evil as has taken place during the Holocaust, is done by a human being who looks like a nice grandpa, who looks like you and me, like all the others? This is Eichmann. What do you do when you realize that this guy does not even perceive that he has committed evil, because what he says is that he has followed orders? How can you conceive evil in that context? And Hannah Arendt points out that evil is banal. That's what she says, the banality of evil. Evil is done by human beings like you and me, without even realizing it, because we live in context in which we don't acknowledge how our action can harm other people. And we do not acknowledge because we think we just follow whatever is said to us, and that is because we become blind to the dignity of another human being. I mentioned from the first class in which we discussed together, obviously not together. I always teach this class face to face, and I'm so sorry I don't teach it now in the same way. But what we realize is that often, because of various things in life, we forget to acknowledge the dignity of another human being, and even more than that, we objectify other human beings, and we no longer treat them as persons. And you have in the slides as well a discussion about Martin Buber's two kind of relationship, I thou and I it. And I will just say a few words about it shortly, because it refers to the concept of the banality of evil, or I'm hoping that it can be understood in an easier way. When I look at another person as an object, what I think is that the other person can be useful for me or not. I don't think about the way in which the other person lives and exists as a person. and I don't think about the communion I have with the other person as member of the same species, if I can put it this way. And in that case, the relationship between me and the other person is I eat. If I look as a nurse, as a patient, only as someone that I need to take care of because that's my job, then I consider the other person as an object. If I, as a husband, I look as my wife as only a human being who can achieve certain needs I have, then I look at my wife as an object and not as a person. If I look at the other human being as I look at the person, so I-thou relationship, then I consider the needs of the other person, and I can see why the other person has the behaviors he has, the needs that he has, and it does not start with me, with my needs, with my view about the world, with my understanding of the world. The I-thou relationship is a medication, if I can put it this way, against arriving at evil that can be expressed in each one of us. And I mentioned before that this class invites to vigilance and not to accusations, because we have to be aware of the fact that evil may have root even in our hearts. So, please write comments about this video that ask questions about the banality of evil if it doesn't make sense, and I will try to emphasize more. Now obviously it's a short video, but I will try to enter into dialogue with you and figure out how we together can arrive at a better understanding. And if you you have some slides about Hannah Arendt, you also have a couple of video clips including the trailer of a movie about her. If you have time, watch the movie, of course, or especially read the book. Be well.